Hello, my friends. Welcome back. If we haven't met before, my name is Sam, and I am super pumped that you've decided to practice with me today. In the last video, I wrote in the description that practice was all about moving and grooving. So too is this one. I'm in the moving, grooving mood, so today that's what we're here for. We're here to feel our way through the entire body. There is absolutely some hip-focused shapes we're going to make, and also some love for the core body. You won't need any props for today's practice. When you're ready, we're going to get started in downward facing dog. Once we get back here, just have your feet slightly wider than hip width distance apart. As you press through the hands, rise high up on the toes. Take an inhale. And you exhale, just let both feet fall off to the right hand side. So you're resting on the inside edge of left foot, outside edge of right. Keep the knees bent as you continue to send the hips back, working to lengthen through the left side of your torso there. Take an in-breath. The exhale, sprinting back through center, and then come over to the other side. So fall on the outside edge of left foot, inside edge of right. Little bend in the knees so you can still chase the shape of downward facing dog, sending the hips up and back. Breathing as though the breath was going into right side now. So take an inhale. Exhale, we come back through center. Then we're going to roll forwards, finding our plank position. You might need to shuffle the feet back a little if your down dog was a little shorter today. Push through the hands, send crown of head forward, heels back. Take an inhale. And the exhale, take yourself back to downward facing dog. So we're going to do that 2 more times. Using the inhale to ripple forwards through the plank position. And letting the exhale, bend the knees slightly and take our hips back to downward facing dog. One more time, inhale, we're going to roll forwards. The exhale is going to take us back. And once we arrive in downward facing dog, we're going to start to walk our hands back towards our feet. Press the fingertips into the floor to lengthen your chest halfway using an in-breath. As you exhale, really melt into the fold here at the back of the mat. Perhaps you catch hold of opposite elbows. You really let your head hang heavy here. Taking the opportunity just to sway from side to side. Letting the feet get accustomed to being connected to the floor. Always trying to build this connection to our foundations, that which is grounded, connected to our mat, to the earth, to the floor as we make our way through the practice. The hands drop down and start to roll up to stand. Really bend the knees. Really feel the spine round as you start to rise up. When you arrive at standing, circle the arms wide, let them rise over the head using an in-breath. And the exhale, pull your palms through center. And then your arms just drop down by the side. Taking a moment or two here in your Tadasana. Allowing yourself once again to connect to the earth below you, but feel the space above you. One more breath here. Nice way. Use your inhale, reach the arms overhead, find Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, fold over the thighs, Uttanasana. Lift the chest halfway using your in-breath, Ardha Uttanasana. And then walk your hands forward to come back to downward facing dog. Reach the right leg up and back behind you using an in-breath. Keep the leg straight for a moment. Just roll the hip open, toes face the right-hand side of the room. See if your left heel can get lower to the floor as the right pinky toe lifts higher. And then we'll bend the knee. So really drawing that right heel towards the bottom there. Pressing evenly through both hands. Trying to split left heel and right knee away from each other. Take another breath. As you exhale, rise high on the left toes, look forwards. Try to land gently your right foot outside your right thumb. Drop the back knee onto the floor, come onto the fingertips, lift the chest. Take an inhale. With the exhale, send the hips back, straighten through the right leg, and try to lift your right toes off the mat. Biceps by the ears, crown of the head reaches for the fingertips at the front of the room. And we'll do that 2 more times. So rebend the knee as you inhale, lift the chest, you're in the lunge. Exhale, send the hips back, straighten the right leg, flex the toes. 1 more time. Inhale pulls you forwards. Exhale takes you back. You're going to keep the right leg straight for a moment. See if you can slide your right hand back, almost so the elbow's in line with the knee. Press the two against one another. Start to reach your left arm up towards the ceiling. You're still flexing the right toes towards your face, and we're trying to keep the left toes tucked under as well if we can. Find a little more opening through the torso. Maybe spin the left thumb to the back of the room, drop the arm behind the back, and really allow this left shoulder blade to wrap onto the back body. A little bit wobbly, but that's okay. Take another breath. As you gently walk both hands back to where they were, we rebend the front knee and then ground the left palm flat, reach the right arm up towards the ceiling now. So we're twisting across the body. It's like we did before. If you want to feel a little more, maybe spin the top thumb, bend the elbow, drop the arm behind the back. Just letting the knuckles of the right hand slide down the outside of the left hip. And if there was more space and it feels comfortable for you, you could bend up the left knee, maybe right hand reaches back and catches the outside of that left foot. If you have caught the foot, perhaps you bend the elbow and squeeze the heel in towards the bottom just a little bit here. Take a breath. Exhale, we release. Coming on to the fingertips, once again, lifting the back knee. And with the right foot flat, see if we can hop the left foot a little wider than the left hand. And then sit the hips down, finding Malasana. Pressing elbows inside the thighs, feeling the chest rise. Crown of the head lifts, tailbone heavy towards the floor. Take an inhale. Let it out. And you might like to use your hands for support to soften your bottom down towards the floor and then lift your legs out in front of you, finding Navasana. We'll keep the knees bent right at the start for now. Maybe we'll straighten them a little bit later. Take an in-breath. As you exhale, really going to lower the back down onto the floor. Now you can keep the knees bent to start with, or if it feels all right for you, start to straighten the legs, but only until you feel the low back start to rise off the mat. We want to keep the low back grounded onto the floor. Very important here. So if you need to keep the knees bent, that's completely fine. Really puff up through the chest, round through the shoulder blades, reach fingertips forwards. We're going to be here for 10, for 9, for 8, shoot the fingertips forward, for 7, flex the feet, for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1. Bend the knees, catch the ankles, and then set the feet down underneath the knees. From here, elbows down by the side. Start to press through the feet, press through the elbows, lift pelvis up and off the mat, interlace the hands behind the back. Really feeling those shoulder blades draw towards each other. Feeling an activation through the inner thighs as you energetically slide your feet away from you, descend your chest towards your chin. Take an in-breath. Exhale, release that bind. Gently start to lower yourself down. We came from the Malasana before. We're going to see if we can come back to it. So if you want to play, you can bring the knees towards the armpits. So you reach arms back behind you, feel the spine rise off the mat. And then legs and arms at the same time move towards the front of the room. That might take a couple of goes. It might just not happen today. That's completely fine too. Take a breath. Let it go. And with arms reaching out in front of you, press through the heels. Start to rise slowly up towards standing. When we get there, hands are going to come to support the low back. We're energetically going to push the bum down as we press the hips forwards and roll the shoulder blades back to lift the chest up. Feeling shoulder blades draw towards each other. Chest beginning to rise. Lots of space across the low back. Take a breath. To exhale, press the thighs back. Start to fold over your thighs. And catch hold of 2 big toes using first 2 fingers. Inhale is going to lengthen us halfway. To exhale, we're going to bend into the elbows. Roll the shoulder blades down the back. As we pull down, it's as though we're sending the crown of the head to the floor in front of the feet. One more breath. Gently release the toes. Take a halfway lift. Breathe in. And step yourself back to plank pose. Keep in mind which foot steps back first. So next plank, we can step the opposite foot back. Rolling off onto the outside edge of the right foot. Stack the left foot on top. Press firm through your right hand. Find your side plank. Left arm reaches up towards the ceiling. Try to flex both of your feet, and if you can, keep the left foot off the mat. Lift the hips up high. There's more space. Reach the top arm forwards. Spin the pinky finger down towards the floor. Then maybe challenge your balance and look under your left armpit towards the ceiling. Take a breath. Then gently roll back through your plank position. Lean your chest forwards. And we're going to take a push-up. So let your chest touch the floor before you press straight back up. And then lower gently down onto your belly. And pull through Bhujangasana Cobra. So press down through tops of feet. Shoulder blades roll down the back. And as the elbows draw towards each other, crown of the head leads the way. Take an inhale. Exhale. Gently soften the forehead down. Press up through hands and knees. We're going to send the hips back to Balasana, child's pose. There's a little more activity in this child's pose. We're going to walk the hands over towards the left hand side, hooking your right fingertips on top of your left. And then pushing your left palm into the floor as you pull the right hand back towards you. You might need to bend your elbow here. We really want to get a lot of activity, especially in this right arm. We can really stretch through the muscle fibers of the latissimus dorsi on the right hand side. You can keep walking your left hand away from you and pulling that right hand back towards you. Take a breath. And gently release. So to walk your hands over towards the right hand side this time. Left fingertips interlace on top of the right. Push the right palm into the floor. Pull the left hand back towards you. Take a breath. Nice. Hands walk back to center. We'll move towards downward facing dog, tucking the toes, letting the hips rise up and back. Taking one breath. Let it out. And left leg rises up and back behind you. Keeping the leg straight for a moment, roll the hip open. Left toes face the left-hand side of the room. Right heel is heavy, left pinky toe is light, and then we bend the knee, squeezing the heel in towards a bump. Squaring through the shoulders, keep sending the hips up, take an in-breath. Then rise high on the right toes. Look forward, see how gently you can land your left foot, just wider than your left hand. Dropping back knee onto the floor, rising high onto the fingertips. We've been here already. We send the hips forwards. We lift the chest up. We take an inhale. We let the exhale send the hips back as the left leg straightens, the toes rise off the mat, and we drop the head. Two more times using breath. Inhale, rebend the front knee, lift the chest up. Exhale, send the hips up and back. Flex the left toes towards the face. Last time. Exhale. As we lift the chest up, try to keep the left leg straight. Slide the left hand back so elbow is in line with the knee. Press the two against one another. Start to reach your right arm up towards the ceiling. The left toe still flex towards the face. Back toe stay tucked under. That top thumb, spin it to the back of the room. Drop the arm behind the back. And feeling right shoulder blade wrap onto the back body, and that chest turn towards the right hand side of the room. Using the connection between left arm and left leg to help stabilize you. Last breath. Gently unravel. You walk your hands forwards, rebend your left knee, we're back in that lunge, and then press firm through your right hand this time. Let your left arm reach up towards the ceiling. You could keep this left foot flat. If it feels good for you, you fall off on the outside edge of the foot. No dramas. Spin the top thumb to the back of the room, drop the arm behind the back if you did on the previous side. Really allow the torso to twist towards the left-hand side of the room this time. If you did on the previous side, bend up the right knee. Left hand catches the outside of the right foot. Maybe you bend the elbow. Keep looking back over that left shoulder. Take an inhale. Releasing the foot. Fingertips press down. Left foot is flat. We lift the right knee and try to land right foot wider than the right hand. Soften the hips down. We'll come back towards our Malasana. There's a little more space in this Malasana. We'll play with a half bind, sliding back of the left arm down the inside of the left leg, pressing left fingertips wide off to the left-hand side of the room, reaching the right arm up towards right-hand side of the room. Maybe spin that top thumb, drop the arm behind the back. Feel right shoulder blade wrap onto the back body. Feel the connection between left arm and left leg to allow you to rotate a little bit more here. Take a breath. So come back through center, preparing for the opposite side. So right arm slides down the inside of the right leg. Fingertips press wide to the right-hand side. Left arm rises to the left-hand side of the room. Maybe spin the top thumb. Perhaps drop the arm behind the back. See what is available for you today. Find that space. Breathe in. Come back through center. Use hands for support again if you need to. Drop the bottom onto the floor. We'll find Navasana once again. This time, if you want to, we'll straighten the legs. Make it a little stronger. Take an inhale. And the exhale is going to lower us down. Remember, just as low as your spine will allow, still feeling the low back ground onto the floor. This time we're going to be here for a count of 15. Keep the legs engaged. 14, 13, 12, 11. Don't worry if you're shaking. For 10, so am I. We're here for 9, or 8, 7, 6, 5. Keep reaching the arms forwards for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bend up the knees again. Set the feet down underneath the knees. We'll lift for bridge pose number 2. Finding that bind again, if it is available for you, interlacing those hands behind the back. Taking big breaths into your belly to expand. And release. Gently lower your spine down onto the mat. This time pressing the soles of the feet together and letting your knees fall away from one another. Reaching your arms forwards and doing our best to keep the feet and the knees exactly where they are as we roll up towards the seat. It's a little more challenging to find our abdominal crunches in this position, but we are going to give it a try. 9 more times. So slowly lower down. If you need to, use a little bit of momentum. Reach the arms back behind you, then take them forwards as you lift. That's 2. I like to do the Mr. Burns hands from The Simpsons. Just press the fingertips together and rise back up. That's 3. I promise it does get easier the more you practice. That's 4. Really press the balls of the feet together if you can. That's 5. Halfway. For 6. For 7. Inhale on the way down. Exhale on the way up. That's 8. 2 more. Last one. Inhaling on the way down. Exhaling on the way up. And then hands behind the hips. Press the feet down flat. Roll the shoulder blades back. And lift yourself up and off the mat. Crown of the head reaches towards the back of the room. Feet press firm as we work to lift the hips up a little bit higher here. Take another breath. And gently lower your bottom down between the hands. Extend the legs out long in front of you. Flex the toes towards the face. And then reach your arms up nice and high. Take an inhale here. And the exhale, move forwards from the pelvis to allow yourself to fold over the length of your thighs here. Your head, feel the crown of the head chase the direction of the toes. And the toes flex in the direction of the crown of the head. Last breath. Gently lift yourself up towards the seat and just scoot your hips a little more towards the top of your mat so you have lots of space behind you as you roll down onto your back wing across the right ankle onto the left thigh. Without using the hands at first, we're going to lift our head and chest off the mat. If there's space, squeeze the left knee in towards the chest. Both feet are engaged. We're trying to move the right knee away from us and squeeze the left knee towards us. If you need to use the hands, you can catch hold of the back of this left leg. Otherwise, we just stay here, find this more active position. And slide right leg all the way over the left. Start to allow your knees to fall towards the left-hand side of the room. Spread the arms out wide. Just mindfully unravel. This time we'll cross left ankle on the right thigh with both feet flexing. Again, without using the hands. We lift the head off the mat. We squeeze the right knee in towards the chest. Trying to move left knee away from us as we bring that right knee closer towards the face. And if you need to catch hold of the right leg, use your hands, wrap them around the back of the right hamstring. Otherwise, use your strength to see if you can get a little closer. We slide left leg all the way over the right. We allow knees to fall to the right-hand side of the room. Arms spread wide. Open up across the chest. Gently unraveling back through center. Finish off just by giving your knees a little bit of a hug. So you can cross one ankle over the next, hug the knees into chest, and just lift your head off the mat. You find more of that spinal flexion. You can really draw yourself in nice and close here. If you're feeling a calling, if you may, just to rock from side to side, you can absolutely take that option. When you feel ready, you just start to lower yourself down towards Shavasana. You extend the legs out nice and long. Doing your best to tuck the tailbone under, letting the arms rest down alongside the body. I'm grateful that you had this time today to find some movement in your body. You had a chance to connect with your breath. Hopefully now you have a couple of minutes to be still. And I never like to dictate how long you should stay in Shavasana. The offering or the opportunity is to stay there as long as you need. When you do stay there, I want you to again be grateful that you have this opportunity to be still. And embrace it. From me to you with thanks. I'll see you soon. Peace.